We are at Phoenix International Raceway, the site of the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race, but tonight it plays host to the top tier racing C&W Electrical Series for Week 9 and the Throwback 150 presented by Cutco E Motorsports. All the action will be brought to you right here on Royalty Racing Network. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua King, and this is the Countdown to Green. We are just outside of 15 minutes to go before the green flag waves for this evening's event. 150 laps the distance, 150 miles the distance as well. We're going to talk to a couple of the drivers racing in tonight's race momentarily. But as I mentioned earlier on, it is throwback night. So we're going to check out some of the throwback paints that some of these drivers are sporting this evening. There's the 69 of Marty White in the SM Racing Products Ford. We're going to speak with him here momentarily. Only a couple cars on track. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday night. Extremely excited for this one. Phoenix is a special track. Let's take a look real quick at the track. See what the details look like here. And there you see it up on your screen. Phoenix Raceway, just over 1 mile in length. Avondale, USA, of course, 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Typical for Arizona at any time of the year, I feel. 968 degrees Fahrenheit, 968 feet altitude, all over the place. Would have been in an oven. 8% humidity, very low, clear, beautiful skies above, and barely any wind. Let's see if we can't get a word with the 69 of Marty White. Where did he go? He is there. We're going to see if we can't scoop him up here. And Marty White currently sits 18th in points right now. He's a part of mid-tier racing. Marty, you got a copy? This is Joshua up in the booth.
I got a copy.
Hey, Marty. How you doing this evening?
Could be better. Right now, I'm going to be like Reddick at Darlington earlier this year.
Well, you still got some practice time left. As you heard me mention, you're sitting 18th in points. You've been on an absolute roll the last 5 races. You've really come into your own. What do you feel is the biggest factor in your development this season?
Honestly, I think it's my teammates. They honestly just helped me a lot with, strategy, and just with the practice sessions that we have throughout the week. I learn a lot from them.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you got some great people over there as you go for a ride there through, it looks like, turn 2.
Yeah.
It appeared. Of course, there's been some news around mid-tier racing kind of going their separate ways at the end of Season 2. What would you say is next for the 69 of Marty White?
If that happens, I'll probably maybe start my own team up. I'm not too certain on it, though.
Okay. How you feeling about the race this evening?
Hopefully it's not a caution fest. Just see how it goes.
That's all you can do, man. Best of luck to you tonight, and hopefully we'll see you in a top 10 and keep making your way forward in points.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Marty White in the 69 SM Racing Products Ford. As I just mentioned, our other driver that's going to join us this evening is going to be Christian Proctor. We're going to get him in here. He's also from Mid-Tier Racing. There he is in the 13 Hot Wheels Throwback. That is a Chris Contreras Throwback truck from the early 2000s. Nice looking blue and Hot Wheels logo on that machine. Let's grab him and get him in here. Now Christian currently sits middle of the pack, but he's had a strong 3 races, the last 3 races. Let's welcome him in. Christian Proctor, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Christian? So as you heard me mention there, you've had a strong, really strong last 3 races. You've missed some races earlier in the season. You got a couple left to get yourself into the playoffs. How are you feeling about this season as a whole?
Well, I joined in and started off with a couple issues running and everything, and just getting used to the car, getting used to the setups and all that, and I think I'm finally getting the hang of things. Only way I can make it into the playoffs if I win a race, which hopefully I can turn something around, win a race here somewhere. But yeah, it's I don't know, man.
Well, I'd say considering you missed a few races early on, to be sitting where you're at and then having the performance last 3 races, I think you're doing pretty well. Still a couple chances to get in, and obviously plenty of season left just to get that truck into victory lane and claim a win for yourself. But going into Phoenix this evening, what's your feeling and game plan for tonight's race?
Game plan's really just to stay alive, honestly. I've never ran the truck here before. Having issues with the front end pushing a little bit, but I think I'm getting the hang of it, adjusting a couple things, making some adjustments, talking to my teammates, and hopefully we'll get something right, and we'll get at least a top 5 or something out of it tonight.
Yes, sir. Keep up the good work, man. Play some strategy out, stay clean, and you never know what happens, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you in the post-race.
Hopefully. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Christian Proctor, and he is currently sitting 10th quick on the grid right now. Let's take a look at maybe some more of these throwback truck paints that we got. That's a pretty one right there. Not sure if it's a throwback, but that is the 10 of Aaron Brown. He's currently at the top of the board. First quick with a 26.65 over Chris Pierce. Latham Joyner close to follow. We'll just go right down the line. Woo! Bright blue Dingo 65 on the truck of Chris Pierce. Excuse me. Let's look at Peyton Howell. The revved up Racing 52 Toyota. He currently runs 4th quick. Here's Jeremy Gill. Jeremy Gill is running his first ever iRacing truck paint on this truck this evening. He is the owner of Mid-Tier Racing. Newton's Ford, Mid-Tier Racing number 4. For Jeremy Gill, there's Timothy Presley. This is a throwback to 2 different paints. Both drivers he knew. Late model drivers, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty awesome there. Depending on what side you're on, you might not know who you're next to. The only identifier that's the same is the 01 on the side. Very cool design there. Let's look at Jorge Ledesma Jr. He's in the 44 red and black revved up racing truck. Oh, as you see Timothy Presley go for a ride behind him. Or I'm sorry. That is not Timothy Presley. That was Rob Higgs Jr. in the 88. Purple, pinkish kind of car going on there. Justin Waddell and his traditional Mountain Dew paint job for the 33 out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Michael Weissman joining the grid this evening. He's only made a few races. Good to see him out. He's always a strong competitor. He's in the Cucco E-Motorsports 74 Chevy is Weissman. There's Jarrett Martin. This is, of course, a Davey Allison throwback truck paint on that one. Very nice looking truck there. I believe the Monster logo on the rear quarter panels is an addition. I don't believe that was around when Davey Allison was racing that truck, or car rather. Jim Thorndike in his traditional red, white, and blue stars and stripes. Cucco E-Motorsports 59. Looking good as always there. We saw Marty earlier. Kelly Akron in the tribute truck to Martin Truex Jr. Perfect for the 19 Toyota of Kelly Akron. And our final one we haven't seen on track yet is Dan Ames. He's in his traditional 55 purple and black Czech 6 Motorsports mid-tier racing ride. There's Jake Raven out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's not on track yet, but you can see there he's going to be in the 37 Cummins machine if we can find him. Where is he? He's nowhere. Okay, we'll go somewhere else. Brady Floyd's not out there yet. He'll join us on the grid, though. He's out of Charleston, South Carolina. Is Brady Floyd. Can't wait to see his truck. And Nick Raffini will be with us this evening as well. So we're about 10 minutes away from the green flag dropping. I don't think we saw Latham Joyner earlier. There's the 3 of Latham Joyner. Nice looking chrome and black on that truck. Always has some nice paints. Huge fan of his normal paint. But while we have a minute, let's take a second to thank some of our sponsors here at Top Tier Racing and Royalty Racing Network. First and foremost, we'd like to shout out Anthony Hutchinson and all the great folks at C&W Electrical for being the title sponsor of this Top Tier Racing series for the last 2 seasons. It couldn't have been done without you, Anthony Hutchinson and C&W Electrical. Unfortunately, Hutchinson does not look like he's going to be on the grid this evening. Now, some of our sponsors here. Oh, my apologies. Did not mean to do that. Some of our sponsors here at Royalty Racing Network. Of course, Press Gas Haul Ass, Designs by Drafty Beef. Victory starts with a flawless finish. Contact Drafty Beef on Discord for a quote on all of your iRacing custom paints today, starting at just $25 for a single paint. Can't get better than that. A lot of the paints that we just showed you are his work, and a lot of the ones that you see every single week on this broadcast are his work as well. We're going to go down to Majestic Promotional and Branded Apparel, huge sponsor of us here at Royalty Racing Network. Whether you run a company, a government agency, sports team, or even a virtual race team like us, Every item can be turned into a statement with majestic promotional and branded apparel. Comment for details. And last but not least, we have SM Racing Products, also a big sponsor of ours here, and a lot of drivers, if you notice, going through the field. Take your sim racing experience to the next level with custom-made button boxes, dashboards, flag lights, and more with SM Racing Products. Check out their Black Friday deals and specials happening right now at sm-racingproducts.com. We're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen, to the green flag waving. A minute 30 left in practice. Raffini is on the grid. He's in his typical 03 left turns FedEx Toyota. Just checking in on the chat after we're getting settled here. Hello, Eric. Been to the track. Very nice. Phoenix is a good one. Clouded says, go 37, Jake Raven. I would love to show you a shot of Mr. Raven. There he is. We couldn't get him earlier, but he's in the Cummins Chevy 37 this evening. Nice red and white paint job there. He's out of Cleveland, Ohio. Let's get serious for a moment, folks. I wanted to let everyone know here that, of course, whether it be on a real racetrack or a virtual racetrack, everyone in racing is some sort of family. It is a huge family dynamic in leagues, in racing, on teams, everything. And I would like to shout out this evening to one of our own, Drafty Beef, Matthew Everard. His mother is in serious condition in the hospital with multiple issues. Fortunately for her, Matthew was aware and saw something was wrong and got her to a hospital quickly, and hopefully everything is going to work out there. But we would like to shout out our prayers and thoughts to Matthew's mother, Teresa Huff, this evening as she continues to fight in a Wisconsin hospital. We get ready to go qualifying here in the top tier H&W Electrical Truck Series for the Throwback 150 presented to you by Cucko Motorsports. We have a couple cars on the track so far. Let's check them out here. Looks like Jim Thorndike is on the track. We'll be watching the ticker. I'll give you the updates of who has the quick time and who's going around. Peyton Howe, the strongest in the field typically, and he's currently our points leader. We'll talk a little bit more about him later on this evening, I'm sure. He's on track. Everybody almost on track here. We'll see if we can't catch Jake Raven on track when he gets out here, since we didn't get to look at any of him on the track earlier. There's Jorge Ledesma Jr. He's out of Arizona. This is his home track. Short trip if it was a real trip. But it's not, so no plane ticket purchase necessary. Timothy Presley starts us off on the board at the quick time. He's at 27:04, quickly passed up by Michael Weissman at a 26:96. Presley falls to second. Jarrett Martin turns in a 27:2. A lot of 27:2s. Presley does improve on his second lap. He goes 27:04 on his second lap. Now Aaron Brown to the top of the board, 26.60. Kenny Cucko is out there. Didn't get to see his truck in practice. That's a throwback to his grandmother's late model, the Trisha's Learning Center number 11 Cucko Motorsports Chevy. Good looking truck there, and he sits currently third with a 26.67. Now Latham Joyner comes in. Quick time, Peyton Howe, 26.54 to the top of the board. He got Latham Joyner by 0.03 of a second to be sitting on pole right now. And that was his second lap. Latham Joyner second, Aaron Brown third, Kenny Kucko fourth. Chris Pierce just finished. He did not improve his second lap. He sits in fifth. Rob Higgs Jr., nice qualifying lap. He's in sixth. Michael Weissman still on track, it would appear. He is. Let's see if he can improve his second lap. He did a 26.95 his first time. Brady Floyd still on track. His first lap was a 27 flat. He sits 11th quick. And Michael Weissman did not improve. He'll sit 7th quick. Jake Raven's out there for his first lap of qualifying. Let's see where he goes. Can he get in the top 10? I would imagine he'd be able to. He crosses the stripe. Oh, no! Raven. Oh, he hit the dog leg and straight into the wall just after he took the green flag. Heartbreak Hotel for Jake Raven. Now, will he have time to get a lap? Hopefully he does. Jacob Wilson is not out there. They are the only two to not record a time thus far. Jake Raven hopefully will get a time in. As he crosses the stripe again, he holds it together this time. He's on the clock. He may not have enough time, as qualifying is about to come to a close here, folks. Not sure if he's going to get it. Drafty, you're welcome, sir. We love you, buddy. You are in all of our thoughts. And so is your mother. Jake Raven did post a time, but being that it was his first lap, he will remain 22nd on the grid. That brings the qualifying to an end. And we're going to get you the starting lineup as soon as we can. As soon as we have it, we'll bring it to you here on Royalty Racing Network. Shout out in the comments who's going to win. Eric says, go Raven. He's strong, I promise you. He can do it. We are 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes from this one going green. While we get this starting grid together, let's take a second to watch an advertisement from one of our great sponsors. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a parade lap going right now for the throwback paints that are with us this evening. Once again, Kenny Kucko's. We didn't get a long chance to look at his Awesome, awesome throwback to Grandma there. Very good. Jake Raven in the 37 Cummins machine. J.D. Van Kirk. That's another one we didn't get to check out in practice. That is a beautiful one. And who did he say that belonged to? Let me see here. Rich Bickle is the Jake Raven machine that's out there. And for J.D. Van Kirk, got a scroll. Bill Sedgwick is who that one is. We saw Jarrett Martin in the Davey Allison, Jeremy Gill in his very first paint. Chris Pierce in the 65 Dingo machine. Didn't see where that one, I believe that one is from Cars, ladies and gentlemen. I believe is the case there. Very cool looking truck for the 65 of Chris Pierce. Timothy Presley pulling it in. We talked about that one. That's split, which is awesome. That is a throwback to two different cars. Tribute cars from his inaugural season of MKM Racing Development. Very cool. Timothy Presley, very nice work as they start to burn it down. Keep them in good shape there, boys. We got a race ahead of us. Just kidding. That won't affect anything as now they start to head back to the pits. Still waiting on that starting grid for you, folks, but we will get it to you shortly. They're in their warm-up period, but I'd have to believe here any second they're going to show, they're going to start taking the grid. And here we go. There is our grid. Let's turn off that. Stand by 1 second. All right, here we go. In the 52 machine, Premier Racing setup shop adrenaline captures Martin Sports, number 52 Adrenaline Motorsports, also Revved Up Racing. He's on the pole. That's Peyton Howell. He is your points leader, and he has 5 wins on the season. Latham Joyner sits second in points. He happens to roll off second in this race. He had his first win last week at Nashville. He's in the 3 car. Stay tuned, Esports, number 3. Aaron Brown rolls off third. He's in the 10 truck. Kenny Cucko, the Cucko E Motorsports, number 11. Press Gas Haul Ass Designs Chevy rolls off 4th. Chris Pierce is in the 65, and he rolls off 5th. Rob Higgs Jr., Top It Off Racing, number 88, is rolling off 6th this evening. Michael Weissman in the 7th spot. Good to see him joining us. He's in the 74. Jim Thorndike in the 59 out of Illinois. Nick Raffini out of Illinois as well. He's in the 03. Timothy Presley to his outside, starting 10th. That rounds out your top 10. He's in the 01. Brady Floyd is in the 20 truck. And Dylan Canova is in 12th. Justin Waddell, Jarrett Martin, round out row 7. Jorge Ledesma Jr. in the 44 starts 15th. Christian Proctor starts 16th. Jeremy Gill 17th. J.D. Van Kirk 18th. Marty White in 19th. Kelly Akron in 20th. And we're going green. We'll get back to the back runners there. I apologize. It's a short lap around Phoenix trying to get through 22 drivers. But they take the dog leg to start with. And Peyton Howell is out to an early lead. And we already have a caution. Looks like Jorge Ledesma Jr. and Nick Raffini potentially had problems. Go Go back and take a look at what happened there. And Ledesma just goes up the track into Presley, I believe it was. And around he went. Nick Raffini had an issue as well. He went up the track and he went around. That looked like a mirror image. Just different trucks, almost identical situations. But no heavy damage on them. So have to believe they'll all be okay. Back up front here to Peyton Howell, who led lap number 1, I believe, as we work our first caution. Let's check out the 2 people we didn't get to shout out at the end there. Jake Raven, he's already up 4 spots. He did start 22nd. Didn't get to him on the grid. But Jacob Wilson, I believe he was the one who made contact with the 44 of Ledesma. Maybe he came down to check damage. Have to believe that's probably what he did. He started 23rd. And Justin Waddell already in the pits. Didn't see him have any issues. That's strange. And he started 13th. So not sure why Waddell is on pit road. Take a look at Peyton Howell. Nice and calm. Cool and collected here. So far under caution. That will change as they hit the gas and go green. I promise you. They're getting lined up 2 by 2, getting ready to go for the second time tonight already. As the pace lights on the iRacing.com pace car are out, and we get ready to take the green flag once again for restart number 1. Here they come. Green flag is out. Peyton Howell, a little bit of a jump. The 10 of Aaron Brown will settle in behind. Latham Joyner goes to 3rd. Let's see if they can't settle out here a little bit and let things kind of get settled in. Let's take a look at Brady Floyd here. He's in the 20 AdraEsports.com. Ford and another caution already. That one looks like it might have been Dylan Canova. So let's check out what happened, or what might have happened to the 70 of Dylan Canova. Everything's fine here. He's on the inside of the 01 of Presley. Oh, he just shoves it in a little bit on Thorndike. I don't think Thorndike even probably had a chance to see him there. Let's rewind it again, watch it one more time, but from Thorndike's point of view here. Good thing for him, he got back going. Let's see what happened. So the 70 definitely had the 01. Oh, yeah. Yes. Close racing, aggressive racing, especially for early on. And he'll have to tow. So Dylan Canova, Thorndike And Raffini's in the pits. Justin Waddell back down pit road. Nobody else. Oh, now Jake Raven, Jacob Wilson pitting right now. Maybe some scuff marks on those trucks. There you see them coming down pit road. Wendy Brooks says, come on, Jacob Wilson. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Wendy, for the shout out. There's Jacob right there. Doesn't look like his 51 machine is damaged much. Maybe this is more of a fuel deal. The 37 you can see on the rear looks like that truck has some damage. We'll get a better look at Jacob Wilson as he comes around here. I do not see any damage on that truck. So not quite sure what that was about there. But he's back on track nonetheless. They're getting lined up here to go green once again. And they're off. Oh, a little checkup there. Right when the green came out, Peyton Howe off to a good jump again. Everyone in the dogleg, 3 wide in the back. Michael Weissman got up into the 20 of Brady Floyd. Everyone keeps it straight. That's Weissman, Floyd, and Kucko right there next to each other. Boy, those are some great racers, aren't they? Those 3 names in one sentence all around each other. As Kucko tries to get to the outside. Not going to do it. Weissman's going to make a move and clear for now. Now Chris Pierce taking a look to the inside potentially. Nope, they all settled down. Check out our blimp cam here. A lot of single file going on throughout the field now as we kind of cycle back and we see Justin Waddell attempt to make the pass on Jim Thorndike. And a little 2-for-1 here. He's going to try to get Akron at the same time, and it looks like he will. Good move for Justin Waddell. There, 3 wide. Look out. Nope. Jim Thorndike thought better of it. Kelly Akron hanging tough on the outside of the 33, though, for now. And now here comes the 70 once again of Canova. As Justin Waddell begins to track down the 69 of Marty White. Kelly Akron got past White, which puts the 69 right in Waddell's view. Some good racing going throughout the back of the field here. Let's take a look back at that battle. Kucko has made the pass on Michael Weissman. We caught him just in time for that. Currently a half-second lead to the leader. Peyton Howe checking out just a little bit here. Latham Joiners a half-second behind second place. Still some good battling here for 4 through 6. Once again, that's Brady Floyd, Kenny Kucko, Michael Weissman, Chris Pierce not far back from them, Jarrett Martin in the Davey Allison 8 machine there. He's on the inside of Rob Higgs Jr. looking for the pass for 8th place. Is he going to get it done? He's got a group of cars right behind him. A lot of good racing throughout the field here. Just behind them, you have Jeremy Gill looking to make it interesting on Timothy Presley as he goes in the wall. He's still going to have a run. He cuts to the inside of Presley, and Presley's going to shut him down. Whew, boy, he smacked the wall pretty good, it seemed like, but it didn't seem to kill his speed there. Presley holds on to it for now. Christian Proctor seeing that play out and in front of him. There's Waddell. This one's gotten close now. Presley's going to try to make a move here on Martin. Well, Gill goes to the outside once again. If he can keep it off the wall this time, I have to believe he'll have a shot. As Presley takes the dog leg, he's going to come right back to Jeremy Gill, still being side by side. But Gill doesn't have anywhere to go at the moment with Martin right there, but he does clear. Nice pass by Jeremy Gill. Let's go up here, check out this battle. It's kind of straightened out, smoothed out just a little bit. Our best battle on the racetrack, folks, is right here for 10th place. 3-car battle for 10th. Jarrett Martin, Jeremy Gill, Timothy Presley. Now Gill looks to hold off the comeback of Presley. Whoa, look out, tight quarters there. Everyone keeps it clean. They settle back in. Some good racing going back here as Marty White is chasing down the 22 of J.D. Van Kirk right now. Whoa, and Nick Raffini to the inside. But not going to get there on either one of them. Uh-oh, trouble for Akron. Oh, he's okay, okay. It looked like he had smacked the wall pretty good. Dan Ames, trouble with his 55 truck. He's on pit road. Whoa, Brady Floyd. There we go, back to live action. My apologies. Brady Floyd just passed Kenny. It looks like they're going back and forth. Still a 3-truck battle right here in the middle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. As the top 3 have once again kind of checked out for the moment. Now the 74, big run. Let's take an onboard cam with the 74 of Michael Weissman off his nose and see what he's seeing, just how close it's getting. There's the 11 of Kuko, and you can see, man, they are really close, bumper to bumper. They go, all 3 of them. Oh, did you see the 20 up in front of them? Get loose. That's going to allow the 11 to make a move. Now you're off the nose of the 11 truck. And Brady might be able to keep enough momentum here. Let's see. He has so far. Good job by the 20 of Brady Floyd to fend off that attack by both trucks after he got loose right in front of him. Now, coincidentally, the 74 is going to take 5th away from Kenny Kuko. Good green flag run here, folks. We're 25 in. We're working 25, I should say, of the 150 this evening. And I say that because Peyton Howell has gotten out to a pretty good lead. And he was about to cross that stripe by the time I had said it. There you see on our ticker the gaps to the leader. Also, you can kind of figure your math there, what the gap is to each driver. I'll try to do my best to given those, but we're going to go right back to this battle here. Actually, we're going to jump back to Jeremy Gill, who's still working on the number 8 of Jarrett Martin. Good racing there mid-pack. That's for 9th and 10, folks. Christian Proctor is chasing down the 01 of Timothy Presley just slightly. Cut it by 3/100ths there. And now a 10th. So Christian Proctor is making progress on Presley. We'll keep an eye on that one. J.D. Van Kirk sitting back here in 16th, just riding right now. I promise you he'll have a chance at a top 5 by the end of this thing, as long as he keeps his nose clean and out of other people's trouble. We might not have a lot of cautions here with them being so spread out. So go back to this battle once again. Let's pull up the race info just momentarily. 150 miles, of course, a mile-long track, 80% fuel, so we might be getting close to some of these guys considering fuel. They have a lot of tires as well, so they can take plenty of tires. Actually, maybe 40 laps of fuel, I would guess, here. We will see. One fast repair. A couple of the guys, I'm sure, have already used that. Got to be careful playing with fire there. And then green flag stages at 25% and 50. And Michael Weissman is about to make a move on the 20 car of Brady Floyd for the 4th place position. Good racing right here all night long. And just as I say that, a caution comes out. Who had it at the line? I think when the caution came out, it was going to be Weissman. He'll take over the 4th spot. So very, very good racing there. And it looks like Jarrett Martin had trouble right in front of the 4 car of Jeremy Gill. Let's see. Gill was loose. So was Martin. Oh, and hard contact to the inside wall. And is he able to get it going? It looks like he will. That's good news for Jarrett Martin, if there is any, because he does not have to pit. And as we were looking at that replay, our whole field is down pit lane. There's Rob Higgs. Michael Weissman came out with the lead as Peyton Howell still in pit road, but not a long pit stop. Everyone else had standard pit stops. Michael Weissman did not pit. I apologize. I had that blocked out on my ticker on my end. I jinxed it, Drafty. You are right, sir, as we work caution. Number 3 of the evening, but good green flag run there. Michael Weissman electing not to take tires here. That could be interesting, but for now he'll play the track position game. So after the pit stop, your top 10 looked like this. Michael Weissman sitting first. Peyton Howell is right behind him in the 2 spot. Aaron Brown is in 3rd. Latham Joyner sits 4th in the 3 truck. Brady Floyd, all that amazing racing with Kenny and Michael early. He sits 5th. Kenny Coco sits 6th. Chris Pierce is right behind them in the 65 Toyota, sitting in 7th place. Rob Higgs in that pink and purple 88 machine runs 8th. Timothy Presley is sitting 9th. He's up 1 from his original starting spot. And Jeremy Gill, tonight's biggest mover so far, he's up 7 spots right now, and he did elect to pit. Let's see if we can't get a word with the mid-tier racing owner, Jeremy Gill. Jeremy, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
You are tonight's biggest mover so far as we work caution number 3. You're up 7 spots. How's the truck feeling, and what's your strategy going forward?
Oh, I'm loving it. I mean, it's real slick, but it sits real nice. Anyways, I'm basically just running my own race. I ain't paying attention to nobody and none of their agendas. I got held up there for a little while, but
we were watching that battle, and I actually made a comment how you just couldn't get by on the inside or outside. But you're doing a great job. You're up 7 spots from your starting position, and you've provided some great racing for me to broadcast. So I appreciate that, sir, and good luck the rest of the way.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. All right, once again, that was Jeremy Gill, driver of the number 4 truck, as they get ready to go back green here as the pace car is off. And this time, Michael Weissman will lead us to the green flag. He's the only other person to lead a lap, and the only way he's done it is under caution, but it counts all the same. He'll get a bonus point for it, and they go 3 wide early through the dog leg, and he's already feeling the effects of the old tires as they passed him. Oh no, and the 74's around. Oh, and a lot of damage on the 74 of Michael Weissman. That is not what he had planned. I promise you that. Oh, man. Let's go back and take a look, even though we saw it live. And this is just, you know, he got kind of caught up in the middle, and I think, no, he wasn't in the middle there. Oh, he might have got contacted by the 11. There might have been contact there from teammate and team owner Kenny Cucco. It sure looked like it. Let's go off the nose here to watch this one again. 74 comes up. Obviously, older tires. Cucco's just way faster. And it looked to me like maybe that was. We'll take one more look at it from another angle, maybe. Can we see it from here? Yep, little bump. Sent him around. Fortunately for Weissman, as we see there, nobody else got him. So he's going to have some rear end damage, but he'll be able to pull it in and get it fixed. Now he's taking tires. Tough break for Michael Weissman. Saw that happen right before our eyes. But we work caution number 4 this evening. Peyton Howell's the leader. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back after these messages. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, still working this caution. Unfortunate news for the 37 of Jake Raven. We did not see what happened to him under caution, but if you're watching the broadcast in the chat, he mentioned that the night came to an end early because of something that occurred under caution. Really, really tough break for the 37 of Jake Raven, having to call it such an early night. But no doubt he will be back. He is one of the top drivers in this series week in and week out. He is comfortably in a potential playoff position, and we have 1 week left. That is next week is the final race of the regular season. And pace cars off. We'll give you some more details on the final race of the regular season here momentarily. But for now, we're looking to get back to green flag racing as Peyton Howell leads us to it once again. There was a small interruption there as Michael Weissman tried to play the pit strategy. And so Peyton will not lead every lap tonight, but he has led all the other ones that Weissman did not. And he's off to a good jump here. And Aaron Brown is going to get to the inside of Latham Joyner here and take over that position. Brady Floyd, look out. He was just back there racing with Kenny. And Weissman, for the longest time as we were watching, now him and Kenny are making moves. Kenny's loose. He's going to make a move to the inside of Brady Floyd. They almost touch going into the corner. And Kenny will have that pass done. Very nice move by the 11 of Kenny Cucco. Now he shuts it off from Brady being able to do it again. Kenny Cucco running 4th place right now. And Brady Floyd and him both up. Both big movers here after the cautions. But Brady Floyd up 6 spots right now as he looks to come back at the 11 of Cucco. Cannot quite do it. Latham Joyner, though, is on the inside of the 10 of Aaron Brown. Let's see if he can get the pass done and kind of make a move. No, he falls back in line. Brady Floyd's in the wall. Brady Floyd hit the wall. Got loose all on his own, it looked like. He keeps it going, no caution. Nobody else wrapped up in it, thankfully, but not good for Brady Floyd there. I'm sure he would have preferred a caution. Christian Proctor now works on the 33 of Justin Waddell. This battle is for 10th. That kind of settles down right as we look at it. Let's take a look at the big mover. Jeremy Gill still going to the front. He's up 9 spots. He's sitting 8th. He's working on catching Timothy Presley now, and he is gaining, folks. Half a second behind Presley, as you can see Presley there. While we have a moment, let's go back up and look at Latham Joyner, who has gotten side by side Aaron Brown. And it looks like that pass is moments away from being done. And he will. Latham Joyner. Nice pass on Aaron Brown. He takes over the 2 spot. That battle is not done yet, I promise you. Cucco's hanging around. He might be up there. But let's go back to the 9 spot gainer of Jeremy Gill, mid-tier racing number 4. And let's go in car for the number 4 and see just how much he's having to work that wheel. He said he loved the way the truck was handling. Now, folks, this track is bouncy. You will see here, especially if Jeremy decides to take the dog leg, just how much he has to work that wheel. He's on the front stretch right now, anytime. And you can see there, actually, very, very smooth steering for Jeremy, which is probably a big reason why he's up 9 spots this evening. But there was your PGHA Designs in-car camera shot. We'll get more of them throughout the rest of the evening, but Jeremy Gill is absolutely cooking. Tim Presley holding him off so far. He's about 4/10 ahead, so it's a slow burn. Michael Weissman working his way up through the field nicely. He's already back up to 9th. He just got the move done on Justin Waddell in the 33. He'll continue to hunt the front. And Jim Thorndike having some good racing back here with the 69 of Marty White, as well as Jorge Ledesma Jr. as Jorge just passed the 69. Nice move there. He has recovered nicely from early trouble. Now Jim Thorndike. Oh, Kelly Akron going to make it a little interesting off pit road. No, sir. Well done by Akron to stay to the inside. Thorndike, a lot of damage on the back of that red, white, and blue truck. But he will work on Christian Proctor. in the 13. And he will get that move done. So he's up to 11th. A lot of big movers here. Nick, I'm sorry, Marty. Almost called you by your government name there. But Marty White is up 5 spots, sitting in 14th. And they're all jumbled up right back here. This is the best race on the track right now, folks. Oh, the 44 and the 13 nearly get into it. But they keep it out of each other for now. Christian Proctor holding off the remainder of the takers in that battle. But now the 44 going to the inside. He's going to take a look. And he will get it done. Nice pass. He goes up the track. Keep it out of the wall. Oh! Oh no! We saw live. Ore off the wall in the 13. I don't think saw it or knew it. And he was just extremely slow after the wall tap. And he goes around. We'll take one more look at it from Proctor's view. Once again, saw this happen live. That's Weissman's crash, not what we want. This is the one we're looking for, and you can see here the 44 comes up, taps the wall, comes back down. Oh, tough break, and Marty involved. Fortunately for all 3 trucks, not a lot of damage. Shout out to the 13 there, keeping it off the wall. So, good job there. And we have some takers on pit road. I'd have to believe Weissman is still looking to get some damage fixed. Jim Thorndike is in, as well as Brady Floyd. Have to believe that's probably damage as well. After we saw him go into the wall. Yeah, he's not taking tires, it doesn't look like. Christian Proctor probably just, oh, he's taking tires. Okay, checking damage. Ledesma Jr. is in. There's J.D. Van Kirk. He's up 6 spots. We work caution number 5 on the evening. 150 laps is this race. I mentioned earlier, next week is the final regular season race, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be a good one. We're going to Michigan International Speedway. That's next Tuesday, December 3rd, and the top 12 will lock in after that race. You can win it and guarantee yourself a spot tonight. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at your last chance qualifier for the playoffs next week. That's going to be a good one. Also next week, after the race, the return of the King's Pit Pass podcast will be back. We're going to cover all the action leading into the playoffs and cover all the action from next week's race as well, and take our picks on who we think is going to have a chance at this championship. The favorite right now, that guy you're looking at on the screen, the 52 of Peyton Howell. He has won 5 races, as I mentioned in the pre-race show, and he continues to be strong and lead here tonight in that white and red revved up racing ride. We might see if we can't try to get a word with him here soon. But they're stacked up. The lights are off on the pace car. So for right now, we're looking to go back to live action. Jake, I'm sorry I didn't see this until now, but yes, when we see him go through the dogleg, it looks pretty rough. And we've seen a couple incidents occur right after the dog leg. And when they fan out here on the start, it's one of the coolest sights in motorsports, I have to believe. They all take the green flag and they all fan out 3-4 wide sometimes. And the green flag is out, and here they go towards that dog leg, and there's a good shot of them from behind. There's a decent shot from the front. And like he's done every time before this evening, Peyton Howell is out front after a good jump on the restart. Rob Higgs Jr. I can see having some good racing, and oh no, the 51 and the 69 are going around again. Another caution we just got going. Was going to show some good racing. Looks like Marty White here in the 69. Yeah, just not a lot of room. Oh! Then he comes back up and catches the 51. Catches the 51 of Jacob Wilson. Take another look at it from Wilson's point of view. This is after. Almost saved it. Oh, and then it shot up to him. We saw that in our A-class official race we called. Oh, and J.D. Van Kirk, I think, might have gotten the worst of that one. Let's go back and look at Van Kirk. No, that's off. Here's Van Kirk here as he comes around, nowhere to go. He probably thought the 51 was going to be down. Right side damage there. Maybe not a lot of front end damage. I was just thinking about pulling him in, but we won't right now. Back to the live here. But Rob Higgs, I was getting ready to show some good racing from Rob Higgs. Shut down as Dylan Canova in the 70 truck. Premier Setup Shops ride. Haven't talked much about him besides the incident early. Kelly Akron was in. Probably have to believe that was damage related. Jacob Wilson coming in, and Adrian Fernandez. He did not make the grid, I don't believe, but he joined late. And he's sitting 22nd currently. He's in the 243 AdraEsports.com ride as we see him duck behind a wall there for his pit stop. Top five still looks like this. Peyton Howell is sitting first. Aaron Brown still sits second. Latham Joyner has contested that a few times, but he still remains third. Kenny Cooko, he's up into the fourth spot, having a good top five run. And he is right there on the edge of playoffs. And Chris Pierce runs out your top five in the 65. Timothy Presley runs right behind him in the 01. He's having a good run. Broke away a little bit from Jeremy Gill, who was pressuring him a little earlier. Rob Higgs sits seventh in the 88 ride. And Jeremy Gill running ninth, still up 8 spots. And what a run for the 4-car of Jeremy Gill as we get ready to go green once again. And Nick Ruffini rounds out your top 10 in the 03 FedEx ride. Not pictured on screen at the moment. And here we go. We take a look at them once again as they get ready to go green. Peyton Howell leads the way. Let's see if he has a similar jump as he's had the rest of the evening. as they reach the Geico restart zone. Little bit of checkup behind him, but he has had a pretty decent jump. However, the 10 did not let him get away, too far away. Someone bumped a wall back there, but we're clean for right now. Coco attempting to hold off Chris Pierce. There's Chris Pierce, and we say 88 of Rob Higgs. Oh, save it, Jarrett. Oh, he's around. And the caution is out again. Rob Higgs, we saw get loose. Let's go back to what started that. The funny thing is, it's not showing anything as far as like a crash. Not sure, honestly, if the caution should have been thrown. But it's up to iRacing. They make the rules. So we see Higgs get loose here, I believe. Or is this before or after, I should say? It has to be after because Jarrett Martin has already went around. So let's just rewind it the old school way here and find it that way, huh? And we can see here, we're going to see Rob Higgs. I believe, like I say, I thought he got loose. And I think the 8 truck was just merely trying to avoid him. Oh, he went right into him. And that, so the 8 truck was not loose. Whew. Hard contact. And so that's what caused the caution. To me, it looked like the 88, you know, was higher on entry, kind of dove into the corner. You know, benefit of doubt. Maybe Jacob Wilson did not see that coming. So we work caution number 6. Let's go to another quick commercial break from our friends at SM Racing Products. We'll be right back. Hopefully we'll go green flag racing soon. We're back here as we take a look at the 88 of Rob Higgs Jr. Still stayed up in 8th after that, having himself a decent run this evening. Justin Waddell, who we saw down pit road very early, is having himself a good run. He is up 7-6 currently. Nice run from him. Wasn't really sure why he was down pit road early, but it looks like things have been figured out for that 33 Chevy. Hoping for a long green flag run here. This point, if we get one, you'd have to believe that the 52 probably would run away with it. Now, don't get me wrong, everyone right around him is hanging tough, and it's been some good racing when we've had the opportunity, but he has widened the gap every lead or every lap. and has led every lap with the exception of the caution when Michael Weissman decided to stay out and not get tires. But we're green once again. Let's hope and pray that we can get a green flag run in here and get some racing. We'll go right back to the middle of the field as Weissman. Good move. Can he keep it below him? He can. Now he's going to set his sights on the 01 of Presley. He's going to duck it down below him. No, we see someone. That's the 4 truck of Jeremy Gill. He's had such a good night. Oh, and that truck is in such bad shape after such a great start to the evening. And fortunately for the 4 truck, he hasn't found any other issues. He's going to be able to pull it in and get his fast repair and get back out. But this, all the positions gained. And now he's going to start back at square one here. Really tough break for Jeremy Gill. Let's take a look at what happened. We just kind of saw it in the corner of our camera. And he just came up the track a little bit, and he was turning it left, and it shot right on him. Let's go back here. Take one more look at it from this view. You'll see what I mean here, where he's steering to the left. Oh, and then it just kicks back right. And right in front of J.D. Van Kirk, Marty White, Jacob Wilson involved. Jake Raven back out on track. That's good to see him out there running laps. Probably saw all these cautions and realized I should probably keep going. I might get a top 10 based off that. Big trouble for Wilson or Jarrett Martin there as we see him stopped. I want to take one more look at this crash here, but from that inside view of Jeremy Gill in the 4 truck. And you're going to see him work that wheel, and it's going to just kick back on him. That wasn't him, I promise you. There's the contact. He's fighting it, and then it just springs back, and Jeremy had nowhere to go, as did any of the trucks behind him. Really, really tough break, but he got it back going, didn't have to tow. That is a good thing. But we'll go back live here as we have a couple pit stops going on. Rob Higgs Jr. is in. Jacob Wilson, Jorge Ledesma Jr. I have to believe this is all off-cycle pit stops now, since they've been in before, or still damage repair. Akron is in once again. Jake Raven in for probably more repair work, although that truck looks pretty darn good, does the 37 of Jake Raven. Glad he rejoined the field. Drafty, I do not know either, bud. But we had a promising green flag run after the first couple cautions, when everyone kind of got sorted out, and I can only imagine what the race chat is sounding like right now, because we have had a ton of cautions so far as they're lining them up again to go green. As you see, the iRacing.com pace car pull off onto pit road. Take a look at the field, tending to get smaller as you see a few of the trucks rejoining here. Yes, Drafty, I would not doubt it. Green flag is out, and Peyton takes a jump. He's kind of been toying with him. You've seen the checkups. the last few. This time, no, he was all gas. Not messing around that time. And look at what it did for him. Whew. He jumped out to a good one. He said Aaron Brown's getting just a little bit too close on these restarts. Oh, no, big crash behind with the front runners now. And we saw that one come right into our living room, folks. Whew, man. And that's going to be... They're still backed up there. That was Brady Floyd, I believe, involved. How does that not come out on the list here? Was it maybe Weissman? Yeah, it might have been Weissman who started, but you can see Floyd is already... Man! Let's go. We got to go a different camera here. Yeah. We're going to find this one. So there's where it all started. That's the 01 of Timothy Presley on the inside. Let's see if we get a good shot from here. 3 wide. Oh my gosh, man. Whoo! Squeezed them together. And Brady Floyd in the 20 truck went for an absolute ride. Let's watch this one more time from the blimp cam. They just ran out of room. A little bit of net code there from what we saw up above. Still very tight quarters though. And I'm afraid that might do it for Brady Floyd, who I would assume had already used his fast repair. If not, he's lucky. Let's take a look at this one from the in-car cam, and if you get dizzy, you might want to look away for half a second on this one, boys and girls. In the corner, you'll see him. He's 3 wide now, and all of a sudden... Woo! 3 or 4 spins there, I think, from the 20 truck of Brady Floyd. That wrapped up a lot of big movers there and a lot of people that could contend for a top 5 this evening. Let's see here. Here's the front of the field once again. Michael Weissman back out on track. That's fortunate. Let's see what his truck looks like. Doesn't look too bad. Maybe he had his fast repair. Brady Floyd is nowhere to be found, as I was afraid of. Kelly Akron also not there, it looks like. Ah, there's Kelly Akron in the 19. Getting off pit road. Jake Raven. Well, having a little trouble finding a couple people, but nonetheless, we're back up front on the leaders. And as I mentioned, last restart, you had seen Brady Floyd, I'm sorry, I got him on my mind because of the crash there. You saw Peyton Howe the couple restarts prior. He was toying with the guys right next to him or behind him. Just a little bit on the restart, and that's fine. You control it. But last time, that was probably in their head, the 2-3 guys right around him. And so they were probably thinking, okay, he's not going to go, he's not going to go, he's not going to go. And he hit it right as he hit the restart zone. He did the same thing again. Kind of checked up a little bit, playing the mind games, and Aaron Brown originally was side by side with him, but now Peyton Howe has pulled out in front momentarily. Brown going to get a run as Hal tries to block. Aaron Brown is on his inside. This is the best racing we've seen up front all night. Oh, and he can't get the move done. Peyton Howell just too strong on that outside as Aaron Brown going to get another run here. You can, whoa, huge contact. I don't know if that was payback for the block earlier or if he was loose, but man, and now they're 3 wide and the leaders are crashing. Look out, the top 3 just crashed. And I hate to say it, but I saw something like that happening. I saw it coming. Man, oh man, were they getting aggressive. Whoo! We're going to have to rewind this one manually. For some reason, it didn't show up on our little list. But let's go on, let's take a look here at the 52 from the 52's perspective. Let's rewind it a little bit more. Now, this here, the 10, had a massive run on the 52, which is the same place he had a run the lap prior. So he dives in. I don't see him get loose, but maybe he just goes right up into the 52. Now, let's pause it right here. Go to a little bit better angle. Maybe this one will do it. Nope. And now, Latham Joyner's on the inside, and they all squeeze together wanting to take the dog leg. Oh, the perfect storm of events. Not perfect for those 3 guys. Oh, and then he gets hit again. Soft contact, though. But he gets hit again after the fact by Marty White. But let's watch it one more time. I think after looking at it this way, on this angle, we'll stop it right here. Latham Joyner, Aaron Brown is in the middle, and Peyton Howell is on the outside. And you can see they're 3 wide right now. And they all just kind of want to take the dog leg, and there's just no room. Fortunately for Peyton Howell, not a lot of damage. More damage there. A ton of damage on the 10 of Aaron Brown. But I'm assuming all had their fast repair. Latham Joyner doesn't look too banged up. Let's go back to live action. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to put the 11 of Kenny Kucko on the front row and leading this race after that wild, wild chain of events that we just saw live from the 3 leaders. Eric, if I was to speculate, there was a block a lap before what I would interpret as a block by the 52, which is perfectly legal. And maybe it had something to do with that, but then also thinking devil's advocate, maybe the 8, or maybe the 10 of Aaron Brown just got loose as he cut the car outside to try to make the move on the 52. Maybe he got loose, and much like we saw with the 4 of Gill, when he kind of overcorrected, it steered him into the 52. I'm not 100% sure. Couple different things that it could be, but we have a new leader, and it's mixed up the field just a little bit as the pace car comes off pit road, or comes onto pit road, all mixed up. We'll give you a rundown here of how that impacted at least the top 5 for the time being here very shortly. Now what we're going to see here before we go green, those 3 trucks are still the fastest trucks, I have to believe. They all had fast repairs. They're going to be moving like crazy to get back to the front of this field again. Who's going to hold them off or what's going to happen? We'll see. But Kenny Kucko leads us to green, and he's off and away with a big jump now on the rest of the field and a good time to set the order again. As now we see Chris Pierce, who is running just outside the top 5. He's running second. Michael Weissman is running third. Rob Higgs Jr. is fourth in the 88, and Jim Thorndike is fifth. Folks, that is 3 Kucko eMotorsports up front in the top 5 right now. But Peyton Howell is already making a move on Thorndike for 5th place. He's already heading back to the front. Kenny Kucko, it looks like. They're all single file here. We'll keep an eye on Peyton Howell, who's now already making a move on Rob Higgs Jr. He's amazing. I just don't know where he finds so much more speed than everybody else on most nights. Jim Thorndike will fall to 6th. Latham Joyner is 7th. Aaron Brown is 8th. Dylan Canova is 9th, and Justin Waddell is 10th. Jeremy Gill is up 6 spots and on the move once again as he's back to 11th after we saw his issue there and self-crash, it appeared. But Kenny Kucko leads still. He's got a decent gap. Peyton Howell is already up to 2nd place again. Unreal. Kenny Kucko is a half a second ahead at the moment, but being chased down. By Peyton Howell. He cleared nearly 2/10 of a second on this lap as they come around. This is the back stretch here. And it's already, a little blink there by Kucko. Now it's down to 0.2. 2/10 of a second. And there goes Peyton Howell to the inside. Kenny not going to give it up easy, though, that's for sure. He'll put up a fight. Peyton Howell back to the lead after not long ago being involved in a 3-car crash up front. But now we've kind of went single file, as you can see 8 or 9 trucks there in that camera view. Things are starting to get worked out just a little bit. We have a lot of trucks starting to call it evenings, or at least be multiple laps down. But back up front, Peyton Howell continues to expand the lead now. He's already up to almost a 2nd lead on Kenny Kucko. He just passed him 2 laps ago. Craziness. Latham Joyner's making his way up through the front now as he works on the 65 of Chris Pierce, who's running 4th. And you can see Aaron Brown right behind him. I bet they're eager to get back up there. As it looked like he was about ready to get that pass done. And Chris Pierce hanging tough in that 4th spot. Latham Joyner, much newer tires, I'd assume, unless he didn't take them last time by, but he pitted on lap 80 15 laps ago now. Chris Pierce hasn't been on pit lane since hasn't been on pit lane since lap 30. Same goes for the 11 of Kenny Kuko. They're both hanging tough, though. I think all these cautions has allowed them to stay out a little bit longer. Of course, what comes into play at that point is what they call the heat cycles of the tires, which has a negative effect on them as well. And now Latham and Aaron Brown will complete that pass as they took the dogleg. That went a little bit better than the last time they took the dogleg. Peyton, how is your last person, or your first person that pit on lap 80? He's, of course, in the lead. Michael Weissman pit on lap 74. Latham Joyner and Aaron Brown both on 80 as well. Then you have Jim Thorndike, Dylan Canova on lap 73 and 75 for them. The two people, only two, that have pitted on lap 30 or even before lap 70 is this guy, Kenny Kuko, and this guy, Chris Pierce, that we were just talking about. They're the only two that have not pitted since lap 30. They're running them dry out there, those tires. So, trying to play some strategy there as we go on a bit of a green flag run here, and I'm hoping I didn't just jinx it again as we take a look at Michael Weissman now battling a little bit with the 11 of Kenny Kuko. Aaron Brown now has passed Latham Joyner just a bit ago. That has settled down now. Dylan Canova is working his way up. He has cut it to 3/10 on Jim Thorndike. This is for the 8th spot. Canova's up 4 spots as of now. Everyone right now is minding their P's and Q's in single file, as now we see Canova dive to the inside on Thorndike. He does have the advantage here, but Thorndike will have a run. He's going to go on the dog leg, and that's where it can benefit you if you can stay side by side, and he does. I have to believe that it's a matter of time until Canova gets that done, although Thorndike battled back there. For the time being, what a heck of a run there by Thorndike to get back at the 70 truck of Canova. But they're still close as we take a look here off the nose of the 70 of Dylan Canova. Canova out of Lakeland, Florida in the Chevy. Still working on Thorndike, and we have a battle that has gotten a little closer up front. Aaron Brown, not as good as this one, though. And Thorndike, I tell you what, man, he is giving it all he's got. He's pulling away just a little bit. He seems to be a little faster through 3 and 4. This is 1 here. Dylan will catch him just a bit, pull up to the rear bumper and have a run. He's going to dive to the outside. No, he keeps it in line. Now this, I think 59 is loose. Nope, he wasn't. This, no. Now they're side by side again. This is the best battle on the track. Nothing else to show you right now as the driver from Lakeland, Florida has his hands full with the 59 of Jim Thorndike. Let's go to Thorndike and take an onboard with him. Let's see. Should be able to see when Canova tries to pull it inside. There he is off the rear windshield there. Smooth driving for Thorndike as well in the Cutco eMotorsports machine as he continues to hold off Dylan Canova. Still working. Still working, but in the meantime, look who's joined him a little bit. It's Rob Higgs Jr. in the 88. He's loving this. He says, battle some more, boys. I want to have a shot at this 7th position. And he is tracking him down. Oh, he might try to go even lower. Nope. Thought better of it, but he is closing. This is a really good 3-car race right now. Once again, this is for the 7th, 8th, and 9th spot that they're battling for. Another little group of 3 right behind them. Canova's going to take another look. Not going to get there. Oh, and there goes the 88 of Rob Higgs Jr. He might be beside the 70. No, it just looked that way. That dog leg is a little bit of an illusion when you see it from that camera. It is hard to tell. Oh, keep it together. Rob Higgs just tapped the wall a little bit. Doesn't look serious, but he will lose all that ground he gained on Dylan Canova and Jim Thorndike. Now he's got to work with Nick Raffini catching him potentially. That's a 4/10 lead right now on Raffini, as it looks like Rob Higgs Jr. has gathered it back together. We just crossed for lap 111, and Peyton Howell has checked out over Aaron Brown and Michael Weissman. You could see him back there straight away apart. This is nearly a 5-second lead, folks, on the rest of the field. And we're under 40 to go. And he keeps lapping guys. Or if people keep crashing, I shouldn't say he's been lapping guys, but let's see here. We do have only the top 11 are on the lead lap. And that last Lone Ranger to be on the lead lap here is J.D. Van Kirk in the 22. He's sitting 11th. He's not having a bad night. He's up 7 spots. But he is the next car in danger of going a lap down. Now you can see Peyton Howell's not close to him, so he'll be fine, I think. Uh-oh. As I say that, he goes down pit road along with the 4-car of Jeremy Gill and the 88 of Rob Higgs. This has to be scheduled pit stops. They're going to be making it from here. They're in that pit window. Kenny Cucco and Chris Pierce pitted together on lap 109. So they are good to go. And we're starting to see pit stops starting to happen now. Green flag pit stops. And you never know what can happen during those, looks like Rob Higgs is off clean. Good stop for the 4 of Jeremy Gill. 10-second stop. That's got to be 2 tires. And J.D. Van Kirk must have had a few problems on pit road. 16 seconds on his stop. But he's off and away. Timothy Presley, he sits 18th. So we saw him right behind. He hasn't pitted yet. Now, when do we look for these leaders to go? It's Peyton Howell just past the 88 of Rob Higgs Jr. The last time that the top 2, Peyton Howell and Aaron Brown, have been down pit road was lap number 80. They're good for a little while, and they probably are hoping for a caution or expecting one. Michael Weissman, lap 74. And Dylan Canova, Thorndike, Ruffini, Waddell, all in the mid. Oh, and the 70 of Canova into the wall. No caution, though. He kept it straight and didn't take a lot of damage either, which is good. But anyway, those 4 I just named to you, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place, all mid-70s was their last pit time. So you have to believe it is coming soon. And as I say that, Latham Joyner is down pit road. He was sitting 3rd at the time. Peyton Howell still out there getting it done. Last pit stop, lap number 80. And with the pit cycles, not any close racing to show you folks at the moment. Jim Thorndike having a nice run this evening. He's sitting 4th at the moment. Nick Ruffini having a good drive. He's also up 4. He's sitting 5th. Canova, despite what we just saw on cam a couple laps ago, he sits 6th. Justin Waddell in the 33 is 7th. Kenny Cooko, he's the first one to pit again, so he pitted on lap 109. Might cycle through in his favor, we'll see. He's sitting 8th currently. Chris Pierce right behind him in 9th. They both pitted on lap 109. It's going to be something interesting to watch down the stretch here. Latham Joyner rounds out your top 10, and he pit on lap 118. So we'll also watch the progress he makes on Pierce and Cucko. Right now he's 5 seconds back from Chris Pierce and over 6.5 seconds back from the 11 of Cucko. Dylan Canova is down pit road along with Nick Ruffini and Jim Thorndike already in his pit box. Peyton Howell, for some odd reason, is not... Ah, there he is. He just pit, and he's still in 5th place right behind Cucko on much newer tires. That leaves Aaron Brown as the only person on the track that hasn't pitted since lap 80, as far as who's on the lead lap anyways, or who's in contention to have a chance at this one. Right now with cycles, of course, only 3 cars on the lead lap. That's Aaron Brown, Michael Weissman, Justin Waddell. Now, Michael Weissman and Justin Waddell are still part of that group that pitted in the mid-70s. They will be coming anytime, as I would assume Aaron Brown would, but he has now led a lap this evening. Congrats to the 10 of Aaron Brown. There's almost some 3-wide action behind him. Peyton Howell is going to get his own lap back before the pit cycle works itself out. So now he's back on the lead lap, sitting 4th, and he just passed that 11 truck of Kenny Kuko, who's trying to get around the 22, J.D. Van Kirk, who is not for position at the moment. We got 24 to go. Let's step away for a quick ad from one of our sponsors, and we'll bring it right back here for the last 20 laps. Hopefully we'll stay green and have a good finish. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, still green on this Tuesday evening in the top tier H&W Electrical Truck Series 150, Throwback 150. We've seen some great racing, but right now it is very spread apart. Aaron Brown still trying to hang on. Has not been down pit road since lap number 80, and as we say that, Justin Waddell, has maneuvered down pit lane. Aaron Brown continues to lead. He's got a 7-second lead on second place, Michael Weissman, as we're 20 to go now in the Throwback 150. This is by far our longest green flag run of the evening. And it all has happened since the 3 leaders, Aaron Brown, Latham Joyner, and Peyton Howell, had problems just kind of all sandwiched together. We're taking a look at the 65 of Chris Pierce now, who's running just outside the top 5. Pit cycles are finally starting to finish, which is putting a lot more cars back on the lead lap. And just like we said 7 laps ago, it's back to this man, J.D. Van Kirk, in the 22 ride. He is the last person on the lead lap as of now, I believe. No, right now the last person is Latham Joyner. But yeah, that will not work itself out regardless. So we might see a race here with 5 cars on the lead lap. Kenny Kuko just got a lap back from Aaron Brown due to the tire difference. So Kuko moves on to the lead lap. He's still running 5th. About half a second behind Joyner, who's right there in the 3 truck, right in front of him. You see Joyner going past Waddell there, who just came out of the pits not long ago. Michael Weissman is in the pits. which will move Peyton Howell to second with a very long gap back to Aaron Brown, or back up to Aaron Brown, and a long gap back to Latham Joyner for the third spot. So we'll see if Aaron Brown can hold on in the number 10 truck. He continues to lead. He's having a good run here. We'll see how his pit strategy plays out. I don't believe he's going to have enough fuel, but he might know something we don't. Michael Weissman comes out of the pits. He's sitting 11th right now. Jacob Wilson, shout out to him. He's up 13 spots this evening in the 51 Toyota. Having a very good run in the Revved Up Racing 51. Now he's top 10. Very nice run for Wilson. We'll see if he can't make back any more spots. 12 laps to go here. Aaron Brown, the leader, as he works to try to get past quote-unquote lap traffic, but also at the same time not be too aggressive, because he has the oldest tires on the track by a long shot, with the exception of Marty White, but of the leaders. Drafty, you haven't missed too much, actually. It's very spread out. We went through a full green flag pit cycle. The last caution was the three leaders wrecking together, but that was a while ago, as now we see Aaron Brown come down pit road as we expected, not going to make it on fuel. But yeah, when was that? Let's see here if we can find it. I believe that was maybe lap 90 or something like that, but it has been pretty clean other than that, as now cycling back to the lead is Peyton Howell with 9 laps to go. And folks, I am not focusing on the leader because I don't know what else to do. I'm just focusing because there's no good racing out there. The closest gap we have is probably right here. And it's still a second and a half. Chris Pierce is looking up ahead at that white number 11. So no close racing. Most of them, in fact, are about half a second, if not more. This might turn into something. Nick Raffini with Dylan Canova. That's for a position. That's for the 6th spot. And Nick is slowly but surely reeling in Dylan. Now it's down to 3/10. We might see this turn into a battle for 6th here very shortly, while keeping our eyes on the laps to go. Now it's down to 2/10, and you can see him creep closer. Justin Waddell actually getting passed by J.D. Van Kirk right at the moment, it looks like. That is for 10th. Waddell just barely kisses the wall. Good battle there. Let's go back to this potential battle Not anything yet. And it looks like Waddell might hang on. He gets a little loose right there. But I think he might have it. Waddell's on much newer tires. So Waddell takes it from there. Jeremy Gill watching that up in front of him. Here's Timothy Presley, who's sitting 14th. Jorge Ledesma Jr. 15th right now. 3 laps to go as Peyton Howell still continues to lead and is dominating at Phoenix. Even with all the cautions, he stayed up late. Oh, we got caution! Caution on the racetrack, and this changes everything, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who it was. Jarrett Martin. It appears. Oh, I don't know if Kenny came up into him or if he came down the track. It maybe looked like a mix of both. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Good thing I'm not race control. They can take a closer look at that. Did something happen to Kenny after that, though? He was okay. Oh, big damage on the front end. I didn't see that. Oh, and now he spins it. Oh, into the inside wall. And we did not see that. That might have been actually what brought out the caution. I'm not sure. Kenny Cucco was running third at the moment. Now he's in the pits. Latham Joyner went in. He might have elected for one last set of tires, especially with how many people are on the lead lap. The worst these guys could drop to that are on the lead lap right now is 9th, simply because the 88 of Rob Higgs, I'm assuming, is going to get a lucky dog here to get back on the lead lap. Thorndike is in, probably fixing his damage, of course. A little bit of damage there, and then he might be taking tires. Let's see what he does. Aaron Brown also electing to take tires. This is going to set up a green-white checkered, everybody, okay? If you're new to the program, a green-white checkered is when a caution comes out too late in the race to where now by the time they get the race going again, they're in overtime basically, and now they need to run extra laps. So it's exactly what it sounds like. The first time, as soon as this pace car comes down pit road again with the lights off, the first time they take the green flag, the second time they will take the white flag, and the third time is the checkered flag. So it's basically 2 full laps around to get to the finish. Now, one interesting note for those of you that may not know, during a green-white checkered, if the caution waves again before the leader crosses the start-finish line to bring out the white flag, then the race is not official, so it stops. The caution is waived, and in this case, that will end the race because it's one green-white checkered opportunity. If the leader makes it to the white flag, no matter what happens after that, then the race is official and the race finishes. Now, that's significant because you don't know if something happens after that white flag drops if the back of the field ends up in absolute mayhem and you're the leader or you're in the front of the pack, you could come around to that accident and that incident and have to maneuver yourself around. So let's see what happens. Peyton Howe leads us off. He takes the lead once again. Jumps out to a lead over Nick Raffini, who did not pit this last time. They're 3 wide. Look out. Can everyone hold it? That's Latham Joyner in the middle. They're 4 wide. Coming to the white flag. So far, everyone holds it. Little bumping and beating a little bit there on the 3 car. 3 wide again as Kenny tries to get around him. Now that's Dylan Canova, who's all of a sudden in the 4 spot. He's up 9 spots. Oh, and the 52 just got into the 3 of Latham Joyner, and it's final. Aaron Brown is going to come around what appears to be his first victory. Oh, and he gets spun by the 70. He gets tapped. The 70 of Dylan Canova wins it in absolute madness on the final lap. Kenny Cucko brings home 2nd. Chris Pierce 3rd. Nick Raffini 4th. Aaron Brown is scored in 5th. Jim Thorndike finished 6th. Peyton Howell is scored 7th. Latham Joyner is scored 8th. And what a finish. Holy smokes. Let's go back from Peyton Howell's view. We're going to rewind this while they celebrate. Not they. Dylan celebrates. Maybe. Right there, maybe. Let's see. Oh, that's a little bit. So, almost right on the mark here. We're going to watch that play out. And I can't imagine Latham Joyner's going to be too happy about it. But one thing that might make him feel better is that it didn't quite work to Peyton's advantage. The bump and run there, but then Latham came up the track and Peyton was involved. Now let's go back up front. And we see the 70 clearly contact the 10 and move him out of the way. And that is going to be our finish, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely unreal finish. Brady Floyd, give it to Chris. You mean the victory, give it to Chris? Now, I don't get paid to speculate, and I certainly don't get paid to make decisions. But if this, I don't know how they're going to rule it. It didn't bring out a caution. And in this league, that's the rule for a penalty. But if they deem that some sort of incident here by the 70, and then I don't think you can give it to Brown. But I don't know if you give it to Canova, it would go to Kenny Cucko if that's the case. But wow, what a finish. I mean, unreal. We had an extremely long green flag run there to finish this race, which was good to see. And then we saw that finish after a after a caution flies on lap 147. Let's get to the results, and then we're going to talk to our top 3 as well as hopefully Jacob Wilson will be around. But anyway, let's take a look at our results the way they stand right now. We have, let's go back this way, 24th on the grid. He ran 13 total laps. It's the 55 of Dan Ames. Adrian Fernandez joined late and finished 23rd. Brady Floyd, rough night, 2 incidents for him and took his fast repair, I believe, in the first one. He finishes 22nd. Also a rough night for Jake Raven. I know a lot of people are rooting for him out there. He finishes 21st. Into your top 20 is Michael Weissman. He ran top 5 almost all day long. Got stuck in some pit strategy issues and also had an incident. Christian Proctor finishes 19th. Kelly Akron is 18th. Marty White finishes in 17th. Jarrett Martin ran well, had some late trouble. He brings it home in 16th. Jorge Ledesma, good strong run from him. He brings it home 15th. This was his first race of the season. Timothy Presley finishes 14th. Jacob Wilson, he was tonight's biggest mover. No, I apologize. He is not, but he is second, and he gained 10 spots. We're still going to try to talk to him. Jeremy Gill, strong run. He finished 12th, just outside the top 10. J.D. Van Kirk finishes 11th. He needed that one, sitting just outside of the playoff picture. Justin Waddell finished 10th. Awesome run for Waddell in the 33. Rob Higgs Jr. finishes 9th. Latham Joyner brings home 8th after the last lap incidents. Peyton Howell, who led almost the whole race with the exception of the pit cycles and a caution, finishes in 7th place. And 6th is Jim Thorndike. Into your top 5, it's Aaron Brown, who finished 5th after the contact on the last lap. Nick Raffini finishes in 4th. Chris Pierce takes home 3rd. Kenny Kucko finishes 2nd, ever so close to that first win of the season. And picking up the win in the 70 truck after some late race craziness, we have the 70 of Dylan Canova with the win. Dylan Canova is in the unrivaled Simtography 180 Flood Drive, or 180 Flood Doctor Autism Awareness Premier Setup Shops Revved Up Racing number 70 Chevy. Everyone, thank you for joining. We're going to get some post-race interviews here. We're going to try to get Jacob Wilson before we go to the top 3. Jacob, it's Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, sir.
All right, man. So you picked up 10 spots this evening. You started 23rd on the field. You finished 13th. Kind of an up and down race. How do you feel about your finish this evening?
I mean, I'll take it. It definitely was not a good night. I was on a good lap to probably start 5th or so, and I spun it off 4 coming to the line, and it messed up both my laps, so we had to start dead last. And then, I was just kind of cruising there, and we had a caution, and then the guys, I don't know what happened up in front of me, but they just wrecked under caution right in front of me. So then I had enough damage where I had to pit before we went back green, and I got a penalty for pitting when the pits were closed. And so that I had to serve that when it went back out. Lost a couple laps. Eventually got them back, and then I think Jeremy had gotten involved in that the crash that caused that caution, and I guess he came off of pit road right as I was coming on the pit road after I got the free pass, and I got a penalty for passing under the yellow. So it was a night full of penalties and being laps down, and I tried to stretch it there at the end, hoping for a caution before I pitted, and we didn't get a caution soon enough. but I'll take it. It could have been much worse, but
Could have been. Like I said, you were up and down throughout the evening. Appreciate you joining us here. I know you got some fans over in the broadcast right now. Before we let you go, Jacob, anyone you'd like to shout out this evening?
Yes, sir. Got several sponsors that support us over here in my iRacing and my real life racing. Circle W Farms, Floors by Dennis, Victor Fuel, Adrenaline Captures, Martin Sports, and that is everybody right now, I think. So, and just I want to thank everybody that watches me. I got a lot of family, friends and sponsors that tune into these, and so I didn't put on a great show for them tonight, but some of our other cars, Dylan and Peyton, they ran pretty good tonight, and Dylan got the win, which is great. So it was a good night for our team, and we win together and we lose together. So
there you go.
Overall solid night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you joining us. You have yourself a good rest of the evening, and we will see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, that was Jacob Wilson. He was almost tonight's hard charger, picked up 10 spots. But on to the top three, and your third place finisher is, of course, the 65 of Chris Pierce. He had a great run. He was up front the majority of the night. And so we have Chris Pierce joining us currently. Chris, you got a copy?
I do.
What's up, man?
That was a race.
Yeah, it was basically 130 or 147 laps of Peyton Howell leading the race, and then all craziness at the green, white, checkered.
Yeah.
What are your
I
thoughts on tonight?
definitely benefited from that chaos, but I can't say overall it was a good thing. We had a lot of pacing, not a lot, but a few angry people, and I don't know. We could probably look at where that went wrong and where people went wrong, but at the end there, you could see it just wasn't a lot of respect. But yeah, I'm happy with where I ended up, but overall, not the best race.
Yeah, Chris, you started fifth, so we knew you had a truck that had the opportunity to run up front. You did run up front the majority of all night. As you mentioned, you benefited from the late issues, we will say. Right now, you're in a playoff spot. You're looking good. What's your thoughts on next week going into Michigan?
The reality is, I'm pretty locked in at this point. Probably gonna make round of 8. So if I can get some stage points, maybe get some playoff points for the stage win, that would be great. But at this point, just showing up, getting some points, see what we can do. Then once we get in the playoffs, that's the real grind time.
Yes, sir. It's coming up soon. Before we let you go, Chris, anybody you'd like to shout out this evening?
Thank you guys for broadcasting. I know that's not always the easiest, especially when we got a lot of pacing laps. Thank you to the Adria guys. We had a few guys wreck out. I know Brady was not happy. But thanks to them for hanging around, talking during the game, the race. And yeah, I guess thanks to the league for putting things up. And yeah, that's probably about it.
Yes, sir. Chris, you enjoy your podium this evening and have yourself a good rest of the night. We will see you back out here next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Pierce, the driver of the number 65. He finished third. Next, we are going to get one of the admins and a team owner of Kuko E-Motorsports, Kenny Kuko, who brought home second tonight. So let's get him in here. Kenny came in on the bubble in a sense, running right on that cut line almost, and performed as best as he could. Kenny, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, Kenny. So you, like I just mentioned, you came in kind of needing a top 10 and probably even more so wanting a top 5 or even a win. You got it done tonight. You finished second. What are your thoughts as far as not only what you saw of the racing, but as well what your strategy was going into tonight.
Strategy was to get stage points and actually finish the race well. Like every week, I've gotten stage points in both stages, and then ended up finishing around 20th, getting caught up and stuff. So the goal was just to get a top 8 and get stage points. I got the stage points, and then ultimately finished in the top 8. But I think would have finished third if I didn't have that contact with Jarrett. I thought I was going to have the momentum to clear him off at 4, and I went up as I was going to the wall, like he wasn't there, because I thought I would have him cleared. Just didn't work out, and took him out and myself. But then which bunched everyone up, and then chaos. Chaos took over after that.
Chaos is a good word for it. On the last lap, I made a joke with Jacob Wilson that it was basically 147 laps of Peyton Howell dominating to see all the craziness and everything that you love and sometimes hate in racing in the final 3 laps in the green-white checkered. But from your point of view, you came into that green-white checkered, I believe, sitting 5th. What?
It was 6th.
Sixth, yes, thank you. What are your thoughts about what you saw literally right in front of you transpire twice?
Yeah, I thought, going into 1 and 2, once I saw Peyton and Latham get together and start shooting up the wall, I was okay. If I might get a shot at this, and then going down into 3, I saw Dylan and Aaron getting into it, and I drove it in harder, which I think if I would have backed off my entry, I think I would have had a better run, and maybe would have been closer. But I saw the doors opening and the seas parting, but just couldn't quite get it.
You gave it such a good run there, coming off the final turn, and it honestly looked like you might have gotten to him, but he hangs on for his 2nd win of the year. But you definitely needed and deserved a top 3 finish after the way your luck has been this season. So congrats on that. That will more than likely give you a little bit of breathing room going into Michigan next week as far as your playoff standings go. What should we expect to see after next week from the 11 and Kenny Kuko in the playoffs?
I think more consistency is what I need. If you look stage points, I have the 4th highest amount of stage points, but I'm sitting 11th in the total standing. So I think I'm running up front. I'm just not finishing up front. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I think tonight was regardless of how it went, was a step in the right direction right before playoffs. Michigan's a good one for me. I love that track. So hopefully we'll stay out of the carnage and keep it going and just keep building those finishes.
Yes, sir. Perfect. Before I let you go, Kenny, anyone you'd like to talk about this evening?
I just got to, thank everyone here at Kukui Motorsports. Thank you for putting on the great broadcast. Drafting JD, my partners in crime. We got our work cut out for us here tomorrow. I think was when we'll have time to sit down and review the race. But without those 2 guys, and then everyone just showing up, it's been rough. But we'll get there. We'll get back to how it was for season 1, and we'll just keep digging.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you as well, just like everyone else out there appreciates all 3 of you, everything you do. Good job tonight. Congrats on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Have a great night.
You as well. All right. Once again, to recap, that was Kenny Kuko. He is one of the admins in the league. He brought home a 2nd place finish this evening. Awesome job for him. But let's get into our winner this evening, Dylan Canova. After some late craziness, Dylan, you came into that green-white checkered. I believe you were sitting just a couple spots back, right?
Yeah, we restarted that last restart in fifth, I believe.
Yep, in fifth, and you're starting right beside Kenny Kuko. So, uh, obviously, right in front of you, you saw the first incident play out as soon as it went white. And what were your thoughts at that moment, seeing Peyton and Latham go up to the outside wall on the corner?
So I missed like the initial exchange where I noticed Latham was in front of Peyton when we went down into one. So I missed that part. I was so focused on trying not to get in the nick and hold Aaron off. And then the next thing I know, I saw car sideways, smoke up against the wall, and that was I don't, I don't really know what you call it. I haven't got the chance to actually go back and watch just that specific one, but not exactly the finish I think anybody wants.
Yeah, I mean, there's, they're obviously made for great TV. After a really long green flag run, Peyton dominating all race, right? But then for all of it to just come down to 3 laps and see 2 of those incidents. So I'm going to ask you, Aaron Brown, he had the lead for a long time after he elected to not pit as early as everyone else. He probably thought, I'm getting my second chance at victory here, my first win of the season in the league. You gave him a little bump, the old bump and run, and it worked out a lot better for you than it did for Peyton. Was that intentional, or is that just
I don't
aggressive move?
I think I think at the end of the race, we saw Nashville. You got to go for it. You don't know, especially with Peyton dominating these things.
Sure.
You get the chance every now and then. The cards kind of fell right there. I meant to bump him. I did not mean to knock him sideways. I'm so used to running late models and short track stuff. Normally, when you bump somebody, it doesn't necessarily just turn them sideways. And I a lot of times forget these trucks, like just a small bump will just absolutely launch a guy 90 degrees into the corner, which is definitely not what I was meaning to do. Obviously, trying to get the win and race hard, and turn 3 is the equivalent of a short track turn at most tracks, and so I tried to just kind of get him up out of the groove, get under him, and I definitely didn't mean to knock him like sideways like he ended up.
I think it's important for everyone on the broadcast to realize now where we're at, right? We're going in, I've said it multiple times this evening, we have 1 regular season race left. You mentioned it just now, Peyton dominating most of these races. If you have an opportunity as close as you were tonight to lock in not just another win, but those precious 5 playoff points that can play a huge part in the early rounds of the playoffs, you got to be willing to be aggressive, make a move, and take the checkered flag for yourself. And you did that tonight, so congratulations on that, Mr. Canova. Before I let you go, anybody that you would like to shout out this evening?
Yeah, all the guys over at Revved Up Racing. Just them keeping me calm when the race was not going well. I was definitely venting in the middle of that race. So everybody involved over there. You for putting on the broadcast, the league admins. I know they're going to have a long couple of days after this one, the way this race went. So, but they give us a place to race every week. Hopefully we get a little bit better for them. They deserve better racing. I know some of it can be exciting for the fans, and I know we had some green flag runs that were fun, but the admins deserve a little bit better for the amount of work they put into this.
Yes, sir. A caution-riddled race early, and then it definitely got straightened out and cleaned up, and was really fun to watch down the stretch, and of course with the finish. One last thing before I let you go, I'd like to publicly apologize to you specifically. Ironically, for anyone that missed it, last week I was in one of those trucks, not on the broadcast, and I made some comments about Dylan that I shouldn't have made, and they were in the heat of the moment. It was a perfect example of not thinking before I speak. And I'm not alone in that, of course, that happens. But I apologize, Dylan. Good job tonight. I hope we can kind of bury the hatchet and even potentially be friends in the future.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate that. No ill will. I know how it can be racing, doing it in real life, doing it on here. It doesn't matter. In the heat of the moment, your best friend, you can be the first person you're arguing with. We spend, like tonight, almost 2 hours in the rock. It's a long time. It's gonna happen. So I had no ill will on that. We're all good on my book.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate you joining me. And once again, good win. We'll see you next week in Michigan. You're locked in for sure now. You got some extra bonus points to play with. Go celebrate this one.
Thank you. Hopefully we have a little bit cleaner of a race next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our winner this evening, Dylan Canova in the number 70 truck, and we saw all the craziness come down to the last 3 laps. But it was a great race. I'm going to get serious with you for one more minute before we call it an evening. I apologize publicly to Dylan. I wanted to also apologize publicly to anyone that was watching the broadcast last week, anyone that races in this league, and the admins specifically. I made some comments towards admins that I did not realize at the time were going to be taken the way they absolutely sounded, and it has caused a minor riff, but we are adults, we are mature, and I have now, shown hopefully that how much I appreciate them and how much I care about this league, and it was a bad moment, but hopefully in the future I will be judged by my character overall and not a bad moment in a bad situation. Zebra/Marty, no podcast this evening. The plan was to come back this week, and unfortunately Jorge is no longer with us, and Drafty is dealing with a lot with his mother right now, and I don't feel like it would be appropriate for that to go on. But we will 100%, 150%, we will be back next week on the podcast. We're going to discuss the race results from next week and kind of how it is. And then we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive at what's to come for playoffs. Maybe we can get one of the playoff drivers to join us in the podcast and talk to us about their season and what they plan to do for playoffs. We can also cover some of the moves in NASCAR if we want to. I don't know. I had a plan for this evening, but obviously there are personal reasons that are more important to deal with and take care of than a podcast. I will not discredit anybody's personal reasons or issues ever. So that's where we're at with the podcast. But it will be back, I promise. Thank you all so much for joining me for my very first top tier broadcast and what ended up being a phenomenal race at the end there, and some very exciting racing all the way throughout, even though we had some heavy caution laps early on. But we'll be back same time next week with the countdown to green at basically 8:05 Eastern once we get things going. And the green flag will wave at 8:25 Eastern. I will once again be bringing you all of the action from Michigan. And I wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of days with your family and possibly friends. And for Royalty Racing Network and Top Tier Racing, have a good evening.